point in time, you know, I was just looking over, perusing. It seems like it would be the thing to do, just a progression of the show, nothing more, except, you know, do a tool review. I have already been proposed that in a comment more times than one about doing a tool review. Okay, let's review this. Let's peruse visual inspection this hammer here, and immediately the handle's crooked. I know you're not going to be able to see it, and it's just take my word for it. Looking at the hammer, it goes straight perfectly back to about right here, and then it's got a bend in it. I'm sure that's probably been laying somewhere or another with a large heavy object in the middle of it. Because see, if you lay it that way, then it's got a high place in it. And that would be to a benefit in some situations, even to pick it up. If it's higher right there, you can just scoop it up and you're ready to go. But if it's like this right here and you're on a thorny board and you scoop it up, then well, you know you're going to be in pain because you got a splinter underneath your finger. So this would be, but anyways, passing on about that, one of the things that I see, and just take my word for it, I'll show it to you. If you can get a visual on it, I showed it to you. But someone has filed right across there, 2 notches in there. I'm sure it was to mark their hammer, maybe even used, you know, like it was a, let's say you were working on a piece of metal and a piece of aluminum was attached to it, and you needed to make a dimple in this one right here, and then you was to make some dimples in this one over here. Okay, you would not use the same hammer. Maybe use these are in a different texture. Maybe it had a little pimple on the peen part right there, and when you hit it, it was a pleasing design. But up here you didn't desire that. So you have to use another hammer. Up here it had a smoother head, let's say, or a different contour, whatever the need may be. It's got a good head on it, but someone has marked it right there. Okay, looking at that handle right here, it's got an M on it. That's the first thing I seen. That's one of the things I thought I might just go with. But I'm going to say that it has the original wedges in yonder. I think the hammer ain't been used much. You can tell that on account of casting marks. And the head part right there, it's good. It's usable. It's a factory length right there, even though, oh, it's been spray painted right down there. But and it's been used. I'm gonna say a mechanic had this hammer that rebuilt engines because it's oil soaked. It's got some splits in it there, which I prefer. I prefer this hammer. I mean, you can go for it Harbor Freight if you want to and get you one of them 99-cent hammers about this equivalent right here. If you play the coupons right, you can out the door for less than 99 cents. I'm not saying that for sure. It's just the way that it happens. So I'd rather have this one. And the head's a little bit loose even. I don't know, it's kind of tight. But I could live with that. And it's got a little, I believe it's got a little split right there, which is okay with me. I'm perfectly okay with that. And somebody has missed the target more times than one, because underneath right here it's chewed away. A lot of people would reject this hammer, but not me. I like that hammer. You know, that's a good hammer. That's a good size. You can make a lot of gaskets with this hammer right here. I'm just saying. You know, I wouldn't even go to the trouble to add a wedge in there to try to tighten that up. No, not at the present. Maybe in the future. And even you can keep an eye out at the flea market. Man, thinking about flea market here in the cold of winter time. But you can pick up a hammer handle. Used to for 50 cents. Now they're $1.50. You know, cheap and got a knot in it. You know, you have to, and that's one of them decisions in life you have to make. Let's talk about that. Decisions. It's as simple as a flea market item, a hammer. The guy wants $1.50 for it, and you only want to pay $1. You know, do you go ahead and up to 50 cents? Do you go ahead and pay that, get the item, and go on? Or, I mean, the dude ain't gonna go no halfway on it. You know what I mean? So, you know, most time I just walk on. Be honest about it. You know what I mean? If it's just worth a certain amount, I'm not gonna buy it. No, I'm just saying. But it is a good hammer. You know, we may talk about these side cutters next week. Yeah, they about wore out, I think. I should just go ahead. No. You know what I mean? If you was cutting copper wire, them would be all right. But you know, if you was doing any big time nail cutting, you know, like one of them, like up to about 1/8 of an inch, you'd have a struggle right there. But it is pretty. That's pretty tight part, and you can sharpen them. But you know, there's some work to do it. But a pair of pliers, and I don't see no brand name on them. That's what I was turning around there, because it's almost, you just don't find tools that looks as good as this without a brand on them. You just don't. I mean, them is really tight. So, and the cutter edge ain't too bad. So. They have some more life in them, is what I'm saying. I mean, that's the bottom. Even one of these right here broke off a little bit. You know, that's evident when you close them together like that right there. You know, it looks like a. Well, no. I mean, you can hold these to the tool buffer over there, and you can shine them up. And there's some of them out there just throws this in the bin there and I tell you what, oh, I'm glad I thought about that, to tell you how I feel about that. Right here is a perfect example of a tool that you would not sandblast under no circumstances, because the grease in there that's in between here, I mean, you can, if you want to go to trouble degreasing and all that other stuff right there, by that time you'd have it clean. But man, persons do not do that. They just throw them in a bin and sandblast them and sell. Okay, very bad in my book. And if I come up on such tool that I know that has happened to, I pass on. You know, I don't even question the price on it, because the sand gets in that oil in there in the center part, and from that point on, every time you use the tool, it's constantly wearing itself away. Oh, it's very bad, very bad. And you put some light oil in there, and that just makes it worse, you know. But anyways, this is a perfect tool for electrolysis, and I'm not going to say no more about that. It's just a good tool. It is not. I don't think it's been tightened up. You know, a lot of them you'll find it's tight here, but somebody's done had that pin right there with a punch and a hammer, you know. I mean, it happens. But they do have one of them tool grinder things, you know. You can hold it up on that thing right there and run it down there. Just one swipe to put the same texture from one end to the other. That's what you're shooting for. But so often you pick it up, you know, and some amateur had at it, and it looked like fish scales on there. You know what I mean? Oh, you need a real nice. But these are heavy. These are good tools right here, and it don't have a brand on it. So, you know, who you going to blame it on? China or the United States? I mean, the way I'm seeing it, they are a copy of something. But you know, you'll never know.